Welcome back, everybody. I haven't seen you guys since November around Thanksgiving of last year when we were still doing the Her First Six Figures morning show. Well, we are back. It is not the morning show. We will not be live on Monday through Thursday. However, we will be live on Wednesdays, and we're calling it the Make It Make Sense Live Business Discussion. It all starts in our free business mastermind group. You guys need to get in that group. Oh wow. My light failed. You guys need to get in that group so that you can get the full value of this show and more, because this is where the show comes from. Okay. So we asked a question on yesterday. Okay. We asked a question on, well, we asked a few questions. Okay. So we started the engagement off on Tuesday, which we're calling Talk About It Tuesdays. Okay. So this is what I asked. Number one, I asked, be honest. Are your clients spending money the same way they were 3 to 6 months ago? Okay. That could be your current clients that you're continuously selling to, or new clients coming in. Are they spending money the same way they were about 3 to 6 months ago? The next question, because each question is kind of putting it in more and more perspective for you. So the next question was, what's changed more in your business lately related to your clients' willingness to buy? Okay, so you see how we're kind of switching up a little bit, jogging your brain for our answer. And then the last question was, right now, do you feel like your business is positioned for how people are buying or how they used to buy? Okay, so that series of three questions gives you a really good picture of what we're kind of asking about. Now, let me tell you about today. Today is our first day being live, first day being back. We only have one person in studio, so we're going to wear her out, poor Kimberly. So Kimberly Miles, the founder and owner of Me Too Naturals, is the only one in studio. We'll be looking at the comments to see who else is with us live on YouTube. But I want you to think about your answers to those questions, Kimberly, and I'll come back to you. Okay, or you can hit well, you're driving, so I don't want you to hit the nothing button. But I'll come back to you for the answer. Basically, this conversation right here, right now, and why it's important is because the United States is basically in wartime. We're in wartime right now. We're not going to date this conversation by going into the details of the war, because that's not what the discussion is. The discussion is we are in wartime, and it is going to impact how people are buying. Okay. The price of gas is going up. That also, the price of goods are going to go up. All these things are happening. People are losing their jobs so that companies can kind of recoup and balance their budgets internally. So this is going to hit us small businesses and us entrepreneurs, because the people that usually buy from us are going to be less likely to buy and more likely to kind of hoard their money for what they feel like they need. Okay, rightfully so. That's not the battle. That's not the discussion. Again, the discussion is some of the ways we have been selling, some of the prices we have been selling at are not going to work during this time where people are holding more of their money. So it's important that we as entrepreneurs start having the discussion of what ways do we continue to try to get the sale and change it up to where we still have a cash flow, because we still have to live, right? We still need the revenue from our businesses. Some of us are full-time entrepreneurs, some of us are still jobpreneurs. However, either way, the business revenue is important. And since we're all about getting to your first six figures, we have to have the discussion of how do we pivot in this time when things are not the same with the way people are buying, okay? And if they're buying at all. So I'm gonna go to Kimberly and get her answers. So Kimberly, I'm gonna run these three questions down for you, give you time to unmute. So the questions were: be honest, are your clients spending money the way they were 3 to 6 months ago? What's changed more in your business lately related to your customers or clients' willingness to buy? And right now, do you feel like your business is positioned for how people are buying or how they used to buy?
Um, well, good morning. They aren't buying as much. I do have my few loyal customers who are still buying no matter what. Um, they aren't spending as much as they were that I've noticed. And I'm sorry, what was the second question?
No, no,
You
no. It's
said,
all of them are kind of like the same. So you just do the discussion around how all of that hit you
yeah,
as how you want to answer.
yeah. So it's been a little bit difficult, but also at the same time, I'm grateful for my VIP customers who are really kind of keeping me going. And then, I'm in the process as well as just making some slight changes, adding some things that may um, increase my visibility out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing that, and then I think that I think I mentioned to you in a conversation with you earlier that I'm back to doing more pop-ups to kind of get it back out there a little bit. So that's been helping
Mm-hmm.
a lot as well. And and people are recognizing my logo when I'm out. So I think that that's going to help to kind of really increase more so my visibility and just getting me out there a little bit more.
Yes, I love that answer. And you're hitting the nail on the head too, as one of the ways that we are supposed to be kind of adapting and pivoting during this time. Over here on the YouTube, we got Dr. Toya. Dr. Toya, good morning. So Dr. Toya, you already answered the question in the group yesterday. So I'm going to share your answer from yesterday. You what you said was my biggest issue has been this Q4 and Q1 were my season for retreat sales. My buyers are definitely not buying international travel like they were. That was a hit. People are scared, and so I need to reposition to US based events for the next year. Now, it's amazing that Dr. Toya said that because I also was selling a retreat and pulled back on that retreat because not only were people not kind of buying internationally, the retreat was being held in Mexico, and a lot of people were afraid to come to Mexico in particular based on some news events that were happening around the time that I was promoting for the event. So, Dr. Toya, you are correct, right? So you're either going to have to do some US based events and focus on that, or if you do international, you're just going to have to watch what the location is, make it more economical and a no brainer, right? So for me, my retreat in Mexico was a no brainer with all you got for the price. However, the location was in question based on the breaking news at the time. So, what is the answer to all of this? This is the discussion, right? What is the answer to how I sell is not working? Well, I kind of jotted down how I want you to remember it as the three P's of pivot for times like this. Okay? For times like that, three P's of pivot. Number one is going to be pricing. Pricing. All right. Now I'm gonna stuff some stuff into pricing under this little umbrella. But in the pricing, do you have a range that your offerings are where you've been offering the top of that range and now you can kind of go down to the bottom pricing of that range? Now, when I say range, it's because when you set up your offer, you should have set up when you first brought that offer to market a regular price, right? A promotional price and a discounted price, right? So three prices, but each price should have a profit margin for you. So I'm not telling you to take your offering and your pricing down to rock bottom prices, period. I'm saying the bottom of the three prices you should have set up for your offer when you launched it. Okay, you should have had those three prices: the regular price, which is the highest, the promo price, which is the price that you often put it on sale for when you have promotional campaigns and marketing campaigns, and then a deeply discounted price, which is the least you can sell it for and still make a profit. Okay, so that deep discounted price might need to be your regular price for right now. All right, so that's your product as is, going to the lower of the three pricing tiers right now, because affordability is going to be a thing. Okay, affordability is going to be a thing. So there are people out there that have been waiting to buy from you. Now they're looking at how much of an investment it's going to be, and they keep putting it off due to their investment and this climate that we're going through right now. So the first one is P's, right? Of the three P's is pricing. But I also want to add in there, if you do not want to lower your price, maybe say you want to keep it regular price, or you want to don't want to go to the deep discounted price, then what you're going to have to do is start thinking about not necessarily the price, but how they can pay. Okay, they need to now maybe be able to pay in installments. Okay, so now maybe you offer it's regular price, but you offer the promo price if they pay in full. Okay, and you add some bonuses if they pay in full to get them to get that lump sum. But also, maybe it's time for you, if you're not already doing this, to start adding in installments. Give them a payment plan. Make it easier for them to pay your price. If you want to go too far down in the pricing, divide it up. Divide those payments up into installments. Okay. Now, there are two ways. Well, we're going to talk about two ways that you could do that. You can do what we call in-house financing, where basically you put them on a payment plan. You have automated tech that pulls that payment out every month or whatever. But let me tell you something. If you are a service-based business, and however long it takes you to provide that service, your payment plan cannot go beyond when you will be finished providing that service. So let me put that in real words for you. If your service only takes 3 months, then you can only have a 3-month plan. Okay. If your service takes 6 months, then you can have a 6-month plan. But what you cannot do is have a service that is 3 months and you give them a 12-month plan. Because what are most people going to do? They're going to pay you for those first 3 months, and then they're not going to pay you for the rest of them, right? The 9 months that are left. So when we do an in-house financing plan, we never go beyond the time it takes us to service our client. Okay, but that's just one option. The second option is you can do third-party funding. Okay, there are plenty of companies out there. FlexBuy is one, and Flex has two X's. You can look this up. But basically, you can just Google third-party funding for service or coaching or whatever. Okay, and it works kind of like Afterpay does when you go to buy something, right? Or the other third-party funders that allow you to shop and pay in 4 payments. It works like that, but it's for your service. Because what that allows people to do is say, hey, I need this, I want this, but I don't have to pay for it all right now. I can pay for it over time. And so now they're more likely to buy, even in this hard times, wartime, when they should be holding money closer. They see that they don't have to put as much of an investment in right now to get what they want or need. So they're more likely to buy. Okay, so under the pricing P of the three P's of pivoting in times like these, is going to be going to the bottom tiers of your pricing range. And also, if you want to stay at the top tiers, allowing people to pay in the payment plans, either in-house financing or third-party funding. All right, so that's our first P. Great. What is our second P? I'm going to say product. Okay, which is just another word for offering, another word for service. But your product may need to change. If all you have is high ticket stuff, you need to look into having some medium range and some low range stuff. Now, that does not mean take your same high ticket offer and just drop the price. We already talked about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a totally different offer. Does it mean that maybe you only offer the first phase of service at a price, or you break up all the different phases and you're selling them a la carte instead of selling the whole thing, right? So maybe we sell this part of the service, and then we sell this part of the service, and we sell this part of the service. But we have to do it in what I call the junkyard method. Okay. And when you go to the junkyard, basically one car in a junkyard ends up making the junkyard more money when they sell the parts than if they were trying to sell their whole junk car. Okay. So anybody buying pieces of your service, phase by phase, should be paying more at the end for each piece than they would have if they had bought the entire service. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So if I have 4 phases to my service, and let's just say the whole service is $100, I should not be selling those 4 phases for $25 so that all four equal 100. No, for the convenience of being able to pay over time these separate phases, you pay more, right? You pay more. So maybe each phase is $30 or maybe it's $50. But if they go phase by phase, they should pay more for the entire service than if they had have committed to the entire service and paid for the entire service to begin with. So that's one way we're changing our product, okay? Another way we're changing our products is if you're a product-based business, you need to figure out a way to get some services in there with your product. Okay. If you are a service-based business, you might need to figure out a way to get some products, some physical products or digital products in there with your service so that we are diversifying and hitting more people to be able to buy from us. Okay. Because if our service is done for you and is higher price, one way to offer a more affordable thing is to do a DIY product, digital product, or complement your services with some type of physical products where you have a profit margin. They're not paying as much as they would pay for a service. Okay. If you are a product business, it's a way that you can now add some service to that product to justify some of the pricing that is still kind of high. Okay. So that's our way of changing the product up. Okay. So that's our second P. So we're doing the 3 Ps of pivoting in these times when our customers are not buying the way they used to because they're holding their money close. We talked about pricing. We just talked about product. Now let's go to the third one, partnerships. Okay, partnerships. There is cash in collaborations. There is. And so what better way to find out how to get them more value for the money than to partner with somebody that can help add to the value? Okay, so you can go and be in partnership with somebody who has a related service, a related product, a related business. Okay, or if it's not related, you know your customers so well that even though the service or product that you're going to partner with is not related to yours, you know it's highly desired by your ideal client. So that's why T-Mobile may partner with Netflix to get you a Netflix subscription. Netflix is not a phone company, right? It's not a cell company. They don't have related businesses, but they know most of their customers that have a T-Mobile phone also want Netflix, right? So you can do those type of partnerships. You can partner to where you take your service or your product and make it a part of somebody else's offering. So the first one was making somebody else's offering a part of your offer. Go to places you can make your offer a part of somebody else's offer that's a one-to-many type thing. Okay. So what do I mean by that? If you have a service, you have coaching, there are other people that have group coachings or individual coachings that may can use your area, your niche to add to their service. So they're selling it and they're adding in your offer with their offer, making it more valuable, more of a no-brainer, and both of you guys are making money together. Okay, so partnerships. How can you make somebody else's offer a part of your offer? How can you make your offer a part of other people's offers? This is these are 3 simple ways that we can kind of diversify what we have going on at a time when we need to pivot and still make money and what we're doing is not working. Because let me tell you what you cannot do. You cannot recognize that what you're doing is not working. Recognize that your potential clients or your clients are not buying the way that they used to and sit there and let it happen. This is how businesses die. Okay, this is how entrepreneurs who are full-time entrepreneurs might have to go back and get a job funder, a dream funder, a job. I'm sorry, that is a dream funder, and there's nothing wrong with going back and getting a job to be a dream funder, because if you can have any type of safety net to help you to come back up, do it. Do it. So if you have the ability to go get a job to supplement your business, fund your business when it's not able to fund itself, that is not a bad thing. Okay? That does not make you a real entrepreneur. That makes you smart. That makes you financially savvy. That makes you understand that, hey, the business is not taking care of itself before it dies out and I can't do anything about it. I'm going to go and get me some backup. I'm going to go get a dream funder temporarily. That could look like a part-time job. That can look like a full-time job. Whatever is going to help, whatever you have the opportunity to do. Okay? For those of you who are already jobpreneurs, congratulations, you got a little cushion in there, right? But you need to take advantage of that cushion. We need to be doing all kinds of things. Now, I told you the three P's. Tomorrow in the group, what we're going to talk about is we're going to go back to some old morning shows where we talked about the recession and what you should be doing in your business. Things like going through your expenses and stuff like that, right? That's a note, of course you need to do that too. And we're going to go through that information on tomorrow in the group. So you need to make sure that you're in the group, Her First Six Figures on Facebook. However, today we're talking about the three P's: pricing, product, partnerships. Now, YouTube, I know Dr. Toya is over there, but we also have the numbers is saying that we got a couple of viewers. So I would love for you to tell me what the climate is like for you. Are your people buying the way that they were right now? Do you feel a change in the air? But also, what do you think about these three P's: the pricing, the product, and the partnerships? I'm going to see if Kimberly is available. Kimberly, I know you were driving. I don't know if you were in the office yet, what happened. But what do you think about what I said about the three P's, and which one do you think will help you?
Yes, I'm still driving, but actually, I think they're excellent ideas because when you started saying them, there's some things that you were saying that I'm starting to do now. Like even the third one, when you were saying, well, I don't know if that was the third, the one that says product, whatever, I am adding some products. They're going to be a complement products to my product line. And so that's definitely something that I was looking at. And then even with the pivot part, I think that ties in with me adding those additional items. So that I'm just not just a one trick pony. Is that the saying that you say?
Yes, yes.
So, so yeah, no, I love it. I absolutely love it. So
Great, great.
yes.
And that's basically, the discussion, the conversation that we wanted to have this week. We're not going to tire Kimberly out because she's the only one in studio. Today was our first going live in a long time. So some of our ride or die people may have forgotten that we were going live today. But as we continue to show up every Wednesday, they'll come in studio and they'll be more a part of the conversation. But we're not going to drag it out. We're not going to exhaust Kimberly. But that is basically what I wanted to discuss with you guys. In this climate, while it's wartime in the United States and it's wartime in a few other countries, right? It's affecting way more countries. We have you know, we don't really think about how these things hit people globally, even though they're not directly a part of the conflict, but they're a part of resources now being, reduced. And so you have whole economies crashing that you didn't know that this would touch. So across Asia, you guys know I did a tour of Southeast Asia this past year. And so around Asia and places that I were visited this past year, they are having economic collapses based on trying to scavenge for these resources because this is affecting people globally. And so it is definitely going to affect us being a indirect conflict during this time that our people are going to be trying to, I don't even want to say hoard money because they are within their right to try to keep more money based on what they're experiencing and based on what they're having to pay out for the little resources that are available. Excuse me. So What we came up with is change your pricing, offer payment plans. We came up with diversify your offerings. If you have products, offer some type of service. If you got service, offer some type of products that allows you to have these different price ranges and not just taking your current offer and reducing it down to almost nothing to try to get the sale. I'm not telling you to do that. And last but not least, partnerships. How can you put your offer out there for other people to sell? And how can you take other people's offer and add it in with yours to sell? Okay. Partner with people to make more money because you're taking up the value of something. So sometimes we don't have to change the price. We can just find ways to add more value that don't mess up the profit margin. All right. So this has been the discussion today. This has been the Make It Make Sense Live, which is an interactive business discussion as part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and Brown female online service based entrepreneurs to generate the first six figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. Find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon. A link to join that free business mastermind and more information about me is going to be in the description below. Okay. If you have not already, help us out by giving today's episode a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. All right, subscribe to the channel. This is just one live discussion. We will have this every week on Wednesdays. We will go live at about 8:15, 8:20. So join us. We are back. We are back on YouTube giving value, but even more value is going to be in our free group, and that information is going to be below. All right, guys. Have a great day. This has been a wonderful broadcast. It's great to be back. And you guys